It's a Thursday evening, and I found the perfect solution for the demonstrations. I'm going to say it in English and in Hebrew. So we have a problem with pit bulls, with the problem with these phony demonstrators. Why don't we put the pit bulls and the demonstrators together, and that way we solve two birds in one stone. Pit bulls and demonstrators. Put them together, get rid of them. I don't really think they are demonstrating for the right reasons, because I think they're opposing the current government because it's a right-wing government. And while I can understand it, it was voted in a democratic process, and they're just, the whole thing of, oh, we're going to be a dictatorship is just crazy, in my opinion. I don't see any reason why it would be a dictatorship, because we do have a parliament with representatives that vote for everything. So the reason they're doing it is because they don't want a right-wing government, and they want a left-wing government that has, and the way they're doing it is they're blocking streets. And they're making noise. They're making the life of the citizens difficult. The other day they blocked the trains. And the same thing for pit bulls. I mean, people who save pit bulls think they're doing like humanity a favor. Whereas, sorry to say it, I love dogs, but pit bulls are really scary for me. I know in America, I don't know, they don't have statistics in Israel like this, but from like around 500 fatal dog bites, about 450 are pit bulls or Staffordshire, all these dogs, and it's a crowded city full of dogs, and they walk around with them. It's the same idea. You don't really care about what other people around you feel or think. You just block streets, you make noise, and we had much more sensitive issues like wars. There were really like Lebanon war, and nobody was acting in violence, even though it was really horrible war, and the demonstrators were always peaceful. They gathered in a square and they didn't block streets. If you notice, the demonstrators are from this area, which is kind of an affluent North Tel Aviv neighborhood. They take the kids with them, which I find really despicable. Children shouldn't be around politics, and children have to be children. They have other issues, but they really brainwash everybody to believe that the country is going to be destroyed if they don't change the government illegally. So now you have to remember, this government was voted in a democratic process by the majority, and whatever processes they're doing, there's a parliament that needs to approve it. There's a parliament of representatives, and it's a mass hysteria, and I'm getting used to them the way I get used to skin rash, because I just find it absurd that people take these huge flags as if they're patriotic people. And they just, what they're doing is they're blocking streets, there's violence, and it's not like we have a civil war, because it's not like left wing, right wing. It's just a bunch of people that spread this mass hysteria. Look, this looks good. So let me do a commercial for this guy. This is banana loti. It's a really good thing. It's much better than demonstrating. This is the cutest dog ever. איזה מתוק, זה משהו. איזה חמוד. אתה מתוק. So, anyway, I don't see many demonstrators at the moment, but it's getting to be almost every day, and you wonder what makes people go and wave large flags at a place there's nobody. This week it was horrible. They went to the rabbinical headquarters, and they were trying to knock down the door, and they stopped their water. They closed off their water supply. It's getting to very, very violent levels. But I don't see many of them here, but it's almost every day and they're wearing red shirts, which makes, let's face it, it's a communist plot, because communism doesn't like religion. I'm not crazy about religious ruling. I like separation I like them separating, but it's like a hobby. It's like football fans. It's like, I'm going to demonstrate and block streets. The thing is that if there's an ambulance or something, they block it. They don't give a shit. And it's like a football field. It's like a hobby. They really think that they're going to save this country from dictatorship. And it's like ridiculous. It's one of the, I think history will